morning, boys and girls. It's Miss Lisa, the art teacher. Welcome back to my table of art. Today is going to be one of our last lessons for the school year until we pick up again for the summer session. So I thought, let's do something that encapsulates everything from the school year. And I thought how much I missed you, and I thought how much I loved you all. And I thought, maybe I'll do something about the love I feel for all of you and how much I miss you. So I thought, how about what's the best symbol for love is a heart. So I wanted to think of a really great art project that would show my love with a heart that also gave us something to learn about and enjoy making. So I came up with the idea of an abstract heart. Abstract art is made with lines and shapes and color. So I used a paper plate to create the heart. I wanted you to always remember your Roy G. Biv, which is the colors in the rainbow, your red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Oh, I missed my yellow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, Roy G. Biv, which makes up the colors in the rainbow. Remembering that our primary colors are red, yellow, and blue, and our secondary colors being purple, orange, and green. And it's kind of 3D, meaning it pops out. You can see it's not flat on the surface. I mounted it to this green paper just to give it a little bit more strength. But I love them. I loved our abstract hearts, and I'm going to love even more making them with you. So, what we're going to need today, obviously, we're going to need to start with a paper plate. And we're also going to need a piece of paper. Oops, here it is. Hang on. White paper for the base of our abstract art. Crayons, only the colors in the rainbow, because this is all about the colors of the rainbow. Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. So if you can, your crayons, and this is also going to be with watercolor, because we're going to use that old technique of crayon resist. I don't care how old that technique is, I think it gives great results, as you can see in our abstract art, because we have the lines and shapes created underneath the color with our crayons, and the watercolor above resisting the crayon and popping through the color of the watercolors. And the same thing is on the heart, and it gives it that abstract look, which I love. So we're also going to need a cup of water and a paintbrush. So let me put you on hold for 1 second. I just need to go and change my water because I just made the project and my water got all dirty and I want to get fresh water and I forgot to do that. So I'm putting you on pause and I'm going right back. You collect all your materials and while I'm getting fresh water, okay? See you in a minute. Okay, and I'm back with my fresh water. So I'm just going to put that aside for now because I don't need it right now. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to create the shape of a heart. If you remember when we did our butterflies, we were working with symmetry, where things were the same on one side as it was the other, like a mirror image. We're going to do the same thing with our paper plate, but in a different sense. Instead of painting, we're going to use our scissors to create symmetry. But we're going to need to do something with this plate first. We're going to need to fold it in half. So we have no corners to meet, but all these edges need to meet when we fold our plate. So I'm going to bring it down to my table so you can watch how I fold a paper plate, okay? So come on down. Here's our flat paper plate, and I'm going to kind of bend it in the center. My fingers are on top of it, and my thumbs are pushing the back forward, making sort of like a sandwich, and I'm making the edges meet. Once they meet, I'm going to press down and across, and I have my symmetrical paper plate. Okay, so now what makes the shape of a heart? Well, let's take our pencil and let's draw a shape of a heart. It comes down in the center. Well, not quite the center. Here's the center. Move up. As a matter of fact, I'll give you an actual place. Here's the center. Now let's find the center of the center, and I'll make a mark there. We're going to use that as our guideline as to where we're going to bring our smiley face across. Smiley face. I'm going to use a marker so you could see what I'm doing. I'm starting at the mark where I made an X, and I'm just going to make a nice smiley face. It's a little awkward because of the paper plate. You see how I started that? It's just a smiley face. And you can already see the shape of the heart starting. And if you realize the point of the heart, we need to cut part of this paper plate off. So I need to make a line that goes to this corner. Let's do an imaginary heart with our finger here. And let's create a line that will continue. And you can almost see the heart that we just drew on the plate. Sorry. So let's get our scissor out. We'll cut into the lines, keeping our plate closed. I'm going to have to turn this. And then we're going to cut the bottom, starting at the corner. So when we open it up, we have our heart. Okay? And now what we're going to do is, you see how the plate is popping up? This is the way we want to work with it. We don't want to work with it upside down. We want it to pop up from our paper when it's done. So we're going to grab our crayon box and we're going to take out our Roy G. Biv crayons, which are which crayons? Those are our red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. So I'm pulling out my Roy G. Biv crayons from my crayon box, because this lesson is all about remembering the colors in the rainbow. If you're not coming to summer session, I want you to always remember what they are and have your beautiful abstract heart to help you remember. Okay, I've got my crayons out. How are you doing? Okay, put these back in the box so I don't have a big mess around me. Now, when you're creating abstract art, you could create lines and shapes to make it look abstract. So for instance, I'm going to start with my red crayon, and I'm going to imagine that I have lines of color: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. I'm going to imagine. And you can make these lines imagination going in any direction. If you want them to go vertical or horizontal, that's entirely up to you. And then actually they could even go on an angle, a diagonal, if you would prefer. And watch what I'm going to do. I'll start with my red crayon because that's the first of my Roy G. Biv. And I'm going to work on a diagonal. So I'm going to start with my red crayon, and I'm going to start making some lines. See how I'm starting with some squiggly lines? And I'm also going to make some loops and zigzags, all in this diagonal. So that's the first of my imaginary lines of color: red, orange, yellow, and I'm going to continue to the end of the plate. So my next color in line of Roy G. Biv on the rainbow: red, orange. Okay, so let's grab our orange crayon and let's make some more squiggly lines and shapes. Make a square, a triangle, whatever you want. Zigzag. This is your abstract heart. Okay, Roy, orange. Yellow is the next color in our rainbow, and we're going to continue this Oh, I broke my crayon. Darn it. I hate when I break my crayons. I press so hard. Which you want to press hard as well. Red, orange, yellow, green. I like the squiggly lines. It gives it such an abstract look. Blue. Get some shapes. And some shapes are created by making my lines. And last we have indigo and violet. Okay. Now it's time to get out the watercolors. First I'm going to put these to the side. We're going to use them again, so don't put them away. Open up my color palette. I'm going to use this blue paper just to keep the moisture of the watercolors on here and not on the base of my table. First color is red, so that's the first color of the watercolor I'm going to use, and I'm going to wet up this watercolor really nice. Wake up the watercolor with the water, and I'm only going to paint red in this area, and I'm not going to cover the whole area. You don't have to cover the whole area. You could just kind of like spray the color over your crayon resist. See how I have some white shining through? That's a look that I like. You can paint the whole thing solid if you'd like. That's your choice. Next I'm going into my orange color palette. And I'm just going to paint the orange area. And don't worry if your colors mix or bleed together, because that makes it all the more beautiful. And for that to happen, you need a little bit extra water when working with the watercolors. Look how beautiful that's starting to look already. It's got an abstract look to it without even trying. Here's the yellow paint. And let the colors bleed together. Gives it more interest. You then go into them if you want. Bring your brush into the other colors so they do bleed if they're not. Look at that. It's starting to look so beautiful already. Green. We're going to go right into our green. I just love rainbows and I love color. And I don't want you to lose out on all this beautiful color just because it's summer and you might not be coming to the summer session. So you'll have this beautiful heart to always think of me and think of making art. Maybe it'll inspire you one day if you're sitting there and you don't know what to do and you decide, oh, I think I'll make a beautiful painting. Because Miss Lisa inspired me with that beautiful heart. And last, my violet and indigo. Here we go. Purple. Whoops. Okay. Another thing now, we're going to go back to the heart and we're going to work on the edge of the heart in the same way. I'm going to start with my red color and I'm going to use a little less water than when I did on the inside of the plate. And I'm just going to create a border on my plate. You see how I made that border? Again, we're using less water. Now you could decide to wait till your plate is dry to do this so it doesn't bleed into your beautiful colors from the top because it's going down, or you can do it right after by using less water, because if you use more water it's going to bleed a lot easier. Here's the yellow. You see how it's creating more of an outline, but we didn't want to use a marker or a crayon to outline it. We want to keep with the watercolors of the paint, because I just love these colors. They're very vibrant. And we want the outline so it pops a little bit more when it's on top of the paper that we're going to mount it to. A little more purple. There. Sometimes if you go too soon, the colors will muck together and you get almost a mucky brown or gray color, which is kind of starting right here. So far this heart looks to me fabulous. So now I'm going to put my watercolors aside and I'm going to put my heart aside to dry. And we're going to take out our paper the white paper. Remember we had this? Now, with this, you can go in any direction again. We're going to do the same process with the crayons, but we're doing it on the paper. And you can decide again, do you want them to be vertical lines, directional lines, or do you want them to go horizontally or diagonally? And I think I'm going to go with horizontal. And I'm going to start with my red, which is the first color in the rainbow. And I'm just going to make a bunch of squiggly lines and some shapes, straight lines. And then I'm going to go to orange, which is the second color in my rainbow. I broke another crayon. I'm so bad with crayons. I must have 1,000 crayons to get all together. My yellow is the next color in the rainbow. And I just like to make my squiggly lines. Gives it that great abstract look. Green. I'm making some circly, loopy lines. And then I'm going to make more and more. And you know, you could actually write your name if you want. I think I'll add my name to this abstract art. Over and over, I'm writing it in script, creating shapes, creating some great lines, and some loops. Look how I did that. That'll look very abstract with my painting as well. And our last is our purple color. Make some great zigzag lines with some lines going through them. Loop it a little bit. Okay. How cool does that look? Pretty beautiful, I think. And we're going to pull out our watercolors again, and we're going to do the same thing with this white paper as we did with our hearts. Starting with the white, I'm going to take that blue paper again from before. Let my heart dry over here. Put it underneath just to capture some of the water. I'm going to start with red. And I'm just going to paint it across. And my crayon's going to resist the red paint. And my crayon's popping through. Can you see all my beautiful lines and shapes popping through here? Looks great. Going right into my orange, which is the next color on the color wheel. Some of it's going to bleed right into the red, and I like that. I don't want to do too much, but I like where it does mix with the red. I think it's beautiful. Just stick my brush in there so it can grab some of that red. Now I'm going to go into my yellow. Here we go. And I don't know, it might be hard for you to see the yellow popping through from the crayons, but it is. Just to let you know, it is. Next we go into green. Because green and yellow and blue make green. We'll review that again as they're drying. I'm losing my voice today. I don't know why. And the beautiful blue that I love so much, this blue. Some of the paint palettes for watercolors have different pigments. I love this particular blue. I mean, it's not really the blue that you would use like regular blue, like the blue crayon, but I just love this turquoisey look. Reminds me of the islands where I wish I was, swimming in the beautiful turquoise water. Look at that, I love when purple and blue mix. Beautiful combination. Two of my favorite colors right here. Look at that, how beautiful. And you see how beautiful and abstract this is coming? I love it, just love it. And this whole abstract art is called Love, which is my love for you. Okay, so we're going to let this dry like the paper plate. So while it's drying, let's talk about why the order of the rainbow are in the order that they are, the colors. So Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue. They say indigo, violet. we're just going to use it as purple. So why does red and orange and yellow go in order as they do? Well, let's think about it. Red and yellow. If I put red and yellow together, what color would I make? I would make orange, because red and yellow are my two primary colors. When we mix them together, they become orange. So red and yellow create the orange. That's why these three are together. Red, orange, yellow. Then it goes yellow, green, blue. Why would it be in that order? Because yellow and blue are also my primary colors, and when we mix yellow with blue, we get green. Yellow and blue mixed together create the green. Yellow, green, blue. Now, if this rainbow continued and red was here again, blue and red would create purple, and that's why they would be in this order as they are, which creates Roy G. Biv, the colors of the rainbow. So now the next process is wait for this to dry. But for video purposes, I'm going to grab my heart, even though it's not dry. And the next thing we're going to need to do is decide how you would like to place your heart on your paper. We have my colors of my heart on a diagonal, and we have the colors on our paper going horizontal. Do I want to turn my heart so they're almost the same direction, or do I want to keep it really abstract and mix it up? And that's what you need to decide. And when you do decide, you're going to take some liquid glue and you're just going to squirt it a little bit in the center of where you're going to put the heart. And then you're just going to place your heart right on top of your abstract art to create your abstract heart art. What do you think, boys and girls? You think it came out beautiful? Okay. I think it came out gorgeous. Abstract heart art, made, inspired by my love for you. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this lesson as much as I enjoyed creating it. And I look so forward to seeing you if you're in the summer session, because I will be there in person. Very excited about that. And we'll make art together like we once did a long time ago. Well, this is Miss Lisa, your art teacher, saying ciao for now from my table of art. And I'll be seeing you soon. Bye-bye, kids. Be good, stay well, and I'll see you soon.